Hello, in this video, we're going to talk about AMGM inequality as supplementary material of MAT 102 Intro to Math Proofs. We're going to first look at the motivation of why we want to talk about the difference between arithmetic mean and geometric mean, and then we'll give you the general statement, and then we'll prove it, and then we'll use it to prove a question. Okay, so here's what could happen in real life. Let's assume that an investor has annual return of 5%, 10%, 20%, minus 50%, 20% for 5 consecutive years. By using the arithmetic mean, we can find out the average annual return rate, 5% plus 10% plus 20% minus 50% plus 20% divided by 5, which turns out to be 1%. But does it really capture what's happening in real life? Well, let's take a look at what's happening closely. We're going to assume the investor started with $1,000. So in year 1, the starting equity is $1,000, return rate is 5%. We can easily find out the amount of return in the first year is 1,000 times 5%, which turned out to be $50. So the closing equity at the end of year 1 is going to be $1,050, which means in the second year, this investor is going to start with $1,050 with a return rate of 10%. The amount of return now becomes $105. So by the end of year 2, the investor will end up with $1,155, which will become the starting amount for year 3. Then we can keep doing this and then find out what the investor would have by the end of year 5. So that's the amount the investor will have by the end of year 3, which will become the starting amount in year 4. With a return rate of minus 50%, the return will be something negative. So we multiply 1,386 with 50%, the amount turns out to be 693. So in the end of year 4, the amount the investor has left in the account is going to be $693. And then in year 5, with a return rate 20%, the amount of return will become 138.6. So in the end, this investor would have $831.6 in his account. And it's obvious that the return rate in average for these past 5 years cannot be positive, let alone 1%, because with starting equity being $1,000 and closing equity being $800 plus, we expect something that's negative. So by going through what's happening in the 5 years, we can find out the actual 5-year return on the account is the ending amount, $831.6, minus the beginning amount, which is $1,000, divided by where the investor started from, which turns out to be minus 16.84%. In other words, the arithmetic mean that we found just now, the 1%, does not really capture what's happening in real life. That's one of the reasons why we introduced the geometric mean to tackle data theories in which the arithmetic mean is unable to accurately reflect.